Welcome to Ask the Lawyer International Edition with attorney Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa and Associates in New York. We hope you enjoy the show, which features immigration visitors visa, starting and doing business in New York, entertainment and business visas, religious visas, and much more. Whether you are outside the U.S. or have family in New York, the number to call, share, and keep is 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845. Please schedule a consultation with us at www.askthelawyer.us. That's www.askthelawyer.us. This is Ask the Lawyer International Edition. You have questions? We've got the answers.
Good day, good day, good day. My name is Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa and Associates. This is Ask the Lawyer. You got questions, we got answers. The number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. Immigrants. People coming to the United States of America has occurred hundreds of years. In modern times, we have more people coming from the Caribbean, Africa, Latin America, Asia. By the year 2050, the majority of Americans will be, 51% of America will be of these groups. Yes. Doesn't mean that they're going to control wealth or they're going to get the best opportunities like white immigrants, but that is what the Census Bureau of the United States of America has predicted. Not everyone who immigrates to the United States of America run across the border. And if you have to run across the border, obviously make sure you could run quickly because, hey, it's a big issue there now. And people come here, as we know, across the border, mostly on asylum issues. Those are people who cannot get a visa to come to the U.S. Whether it is a visitor's visa, a work visa, it is very difficult to get a visa to come to the U.S. in the U.S. consulate in other countries. The criteria that they use is your income, your intent. Do you really intend to return from America, or you just want that visa to come here and stay here? So if you're coming on vacation, a B1, B2 visa, do you really want to return? How much money you have in your bank account? Have you committed any crimes? But most important, what is your intent? Are you married or single? If you're married, they will believe you're going to come back home. If you're not, they believe you may stay here. What do they use? What test do they use to determine whether or not you're going to come back to your home country? This is what they do at the various consulates, U.S. consulates throughout the world when they determine what is your intent to return. When you come here on a student visa, do you have at least 1 year's tuition and living money, for room, board, whatever, saved? How are you going to pay it in the future and currently? Who's going to make those payments? Your parents? Do they have the financial resources for it? Importantly, do you intend to return to your home country if you were to get that F1 status? Similarly, for various visas, work visas, H-1B, G visas, J visas, the alphabet, what we call them, what is your intent? Do you qualify? These are the issues that we speak about when we consult with persons outside the United States of America. So yes, we do give consultations before they go to the U.S. consulate. Why? Because you have to be guided correctly in order to qualify for these visas. We also give you handouts, i.e. talking points that you need to look at, you need to read, and need to discuss with us during the consultation. These consultations can be scheduled at the law firm of Figure and Associates website at www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us. No, it's not a free consultation. And when you are prepared, and we like to have our clients prepared, whether it be immigration law, bankruptcy law, real estate transactions, matrimonial issues, personal injury, civil rights, workers' compensation, we like an educated client. Yes. The more educated the client is the better we could serve that client. And we don't expect the client to know all the questions that they need to ask, and we actually give them the questions that they should be asking us. Yes. I think we get an international call right now. Can't suspend the show, but hey. Again, my name is Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa and Associates. This is Ask the Lawyer. The number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. You could call, leave a message, or you will be answered immediately at that number. For those of you in other country, obviously WhatsApp is a good medium to use. You could go to the website, read some of the the different areas of practice. Go to our immigration website, read, and schedule your consultation at www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us, and we will work with you. We have worked with many different areas of law. For example, all those teachers that come from other countries on the J visa. How long is the J visa for? What family member could come with me? What about the hardship requirements? How could you, the 2-year requirements in terms of going back to your country? What if I want to go to a H-1B visa? What are the hardship? How do we get around that 2-year requirement? Should I come on a J or H? There are many schools in America, public and private, recruiting teachers. There are many hospitals that are short-staffed for registered nurses. How do I, get my certifications? What should I have when I come to the U.S. on those various visas is what we could discuss. Obviously, when you do the research, when you read our materials, you have a better chance of succeeding on getting those visas. And not everyone, obviously, is going to be looking after your interests. When you call for a consultation and when you work with a law firm of Figueroa and Associates, you are our client. Not the employer, you are the employee. So we give advice that is in your best interest, not in the best interest of other organizations. Yes. And this is very important. So, as we have said earlier, whether you come in here on a P visa, the entertainer's visa, yes. Whether you come in here on the J, whether you like to do the H-1B or H-2B, give us a call. Schedule that consultation. Your family member here in the U.S., if we have them here, we could do a Zoom, or we could do a conference on various lines. Again, the number to call, the number to keep, the number to share for the law firm of Figueroa and Associates is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. Our website for the law firm Figueroa and Associates, visit www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us. Thank you.
Do you have a legal issue, question, or concern? Turn to Ask the Lawyer. You have questions? We've got answers. For a consultation or to refer a client, visit www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us. You can also register for our paralegal program, get legal news, business consults, or other information on educational issues. Yes, ask the lawyer. You have questions? We've got answers. For a consultation or to refer a client, visit www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us.
Divorce, separation, support, custody. The common factor? They keep you up at night. Sleep well knowing that you have the law firm of Figaro and Associates on your side through this difficult time. Don't divorce your money. Don't divorce your children. Divorce your spouse. Whether it's a contested or uncontested divorce, the law firm of Figaro and Associates will guide you through every step of the process. From child custody to property and debt concerns, the law firm of Figaro and Associates has the experience and expertise in handling cases involving significant assets and complicated issues. A divorce can be one of the most unpleasant experiences a person ever has to go through. Don't do it alone. Stop the sleepless nights and call the law firm of Figaro and Associates, 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845, or visit 311divorce.com. That's 311divorce.com. At the law firm of Figaro and Associates, a divorce is not the end, it's a new beginning.
Hi, my name is Brian Anthony Figueroa, and you are listening to Ask the Lawyer with my father, Brian Figueroa.
Our weekly immigration news roundup is brought to you by the law firm of Figueroa and Associates. For a consultation on any immigration or legal matter, please call 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845. For full stories and more immigration news, visit www.theimmigrantsjournal.com. That's www.theimmigrantsjournal.com.
Hello, my name is Mary Campbell, legal assistant at the law firm of Figueroa and Associates, and your presenter with this week's immigration news. We begin with USCIS has been processing naturalization paperwork for eligible immigrants at the fastest rate in a decade, report reveals. The Biden administration's policies addressing the detrimental effects that the pandemic and anti-immigrant agenda of the Trump administration had on immigration paperwork processing appear to be paying significant dividends. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services has been processing naturalization paperwork for eligible immigrants at the fastest rate in a decade, the New York Times reports. At under 5 months, application processing speed is now on a par with 2013 and 2014. About 3.3 million immigrants have become citizens during President Biden's time in office, with less than 2 months to go before the close of the 2024 fiscal year. After taking office in 2021, Mr. Biden issued an executive order that sought to dial back his predecessor's hardline immigration agenda and restore faith in the legal immigration system. Among other steps, the order called for action to substantially reduce current naturalization processing times with the goal of strengthening integration of new Americans. DHS strengthens protections for immigrant workers. The Biden-Harris administration has taken hundreds of immigration actions since entering office, but one of the administration's most overlooked reforms is a process to protect immigrant workers while bolstering labor agencies' ability to hold unscrupulous employers accountable for violations. In January 2023, the administration announced a streamlined process known colloquially as DALE, Deferred Action for Labor Enforcement, for workers engaged in labor disputes to request protection against immigration enforcement from the Department of Homeland Security, DHS. In July 2024, DHS announced an expansion of the period of eligibility for protection from 2 to 4 years, recognizing that labor disputes are often not resolved within a 2-year period. The undocumented immigrants Trump wants to deport contribute millions of dollars to the economy. In an interview with ABC last Sunday, Donald Trump's running mate in the Republican presidential contest, J.D. Vance, evaded answering what the process would look like to identify and deport millions of undocumented immigrants, the central plank of their campaign, and instead recited the usual code phrases to mobilize their base: open borders, wall, criminals. Earlier this year, Trump told Time magazine that he would deport between 15 and 20 million undocumented people. But in his interview with Jonathan Karl on ABC's This Week, Vance said they would start with 1 million. In other words, Vance avoided describing the horror that would ensue going home to home, door to door to identify someone's immigration status, or conducting indiscriminate raids with the potential to detain and remove permanent residents and U.S. citizens who meet the profile of those considered undocumented. He does not describe the humanitarian catastrophe that would unleash, leaving citizen children without parents or without one of their parents, because Trump already separated babies from their parents at the border. So for him, this is normal. Or breaking families apart, because a large swath of undocumented people have been established in the United States for years. But above all, Vance does not say how the removal of even 1 million undocumented people would affect the economy of their communities, cities, states, and the nation. And that responds to the fact that the Trump-Vance team is only exploiting this issue for political and demagogic ends and avoids talking about the data that shows undocumented people help sustain and grow our economy. Meanwhile, in New York, immigrant learners struggle to find English classes as city funding lapses. That ESLL program is now suspended along with those at several other city-funded learning centers, including Queens Community House and CAMBA. That's because the City Department of Youth and Community Development earlier this year adjusted the eligibility criteria for $8.3 million in ESLL contracts to prioritize areas where the U.S. Census shows low English proficiency and high poverty rates, locking some longtime providers out of funding. City Hall, evicting more migrants, says encampments will be addressed. New York City has denied shelter to 1,660 migrants since the May rollout of a new system of time limits designed to help the city reduce the number of people living in its migrant shelters, new figures obtained by the city show. The updated numbers from the city's emergency management department come a week after the city documented a burgeoning homeless encampment outside the city-sponsored Randall's Island migrant shelter. When Mayor Eric Adams got a question about the encampment at his once-a-week open press briefing, his chief of staff, Camille Varlack, responded, saying that people barred from city shelters are still eligible to receive a city-sponsored bus ticket out to another destination in the U.S. In other news, USCIS publishes filing guide for keeping families together. On August 19, USCIS will begin accepting requests for, using a new electronic form, Form I-131F application for parole in place for certain non-citizen spouses and stepchildren of U.S. citizens. USCIS is not accepting any other form for keeping families together. Do not file a request for parole in place under this process before August 19, 2024. And finally, the Refugee Olympic Team, resilience and hope at the 2024 Paris Summer Olympics. Since their unforgettable debut at the 2016 Rio Summer Olympic Games, the Refugee Olympic Team, which represents millions of refugees and forcibly displaced people worldwide, keeps making history. This summer at the 2024 Paris Olympics, the team won its first ever medal. Sindine Gamba, a Cameroonian refugee who now lives in the UK, won the Olympic bronze medal in the women's middleweight boxing category. She is one of 37 athletes who competed on the international stage under the flag of the International Olympic Committee's IOC refugee team. The 2024 team represented the largest refugee Olympic team to date and included refugee athletes from Syria, Afghanistan, Iran, Sudan, Cuba, the Republic of Congo, South Sudan, Cameroon, Ethiopia, and Eritrea. A confluence of war, human rights violations, persecution, and violence led to the tragic realities of forced displacement that shaped the lives of each of these athletes who transformed their hardships into triumphs for the entire world to see. Thank you.
Our weekly immigration news roundup is brought to you by the law firm of Figueroa & Associates. For a consultation on any immigration or legal matter, please call 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845. For full stories and more immigration news, Visit www.theimmigrantsjournal.com. That's www.theimmigrantsjournal.com.
Hi, my name is Brian Anthony Figueroa, and you are listening to Ask the Lawyer with my father, Brian Figueroa.
Green cards for foreign diplomats and employees of international organizations. Despite restrictions, representatives of other governments who've been posted in the U.S. may have opportunities to apply for lawful permanent residence. Foreign officials and employees of embassies or consulates in the U.S., A visa holders, and foreign officials and employees of international organizations in the U.S., G visa holders, sometimes find themselves assigned to the U.S. with their families for many years. As a result, they might develop ties to the country and wonder whether they could qualify for a green card despite their diplomatic status. The U.S. government does not usually accept its nationals or permanent residents as diplomatic agents for other governments. Certain A and G visa holders may qualify for a green card under both ordinary and special immigrant categories if they give up their diplomatic rights, privileges, and immunities. Waiver of rights always required before diplomats receive U.S. green card. A and G visa holders may be eligible for a green card in any immigrant visa category available to other foreign citizens, but only if they waive their diplomatic rights, privileges, and immunities. For example, if you are an employee on the administrative staff of a foreign embassy in the U.S., you probably enjoy some immunity from criminal prosecution. However, if you would like to apply for a green card based on your marriage to a U.S. citizen, you may do so only if you agree to give up your immunity and accept liability for U.S. taxes. You are not required to abandon your position with the foreign mission. To waive your diplomatic rights, privileges, and immunities, you would file a Form I-508, Waiver of Rights, Privileges, Exemptions, and Immunities with U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services or USCIS at the same time as you apply for your green card. The rest of your green card application package should include, in addition to your immigrant petition, visa or adjustment of status application, and supporting documents, a Form I-566, Interagency Record of Request. Special Green Card for Foreign Diplomats, Section 13. Foreign government representatives whose duties could be described as diplomatic or semi-diplomatic in nature, whether they were granted an A1 or A2 visa and assigned to an embassy or consulate, or were granted a G1 or G2 visa and assigned to an international organization, may also qualify for a special type of green card, Section 13, if they fail to maintain their diplomatic status, are unable to return to their home country due to compelling reasons, are otherwise admissible to the U.S., and can demonstrate good moral character. Family members of such persons may also qualify for this benefit as dependents. For example, a foreign ambassador could have a credible fear of returning to their home country after a coup or civil war. The Section 13 option would allow the diplomat to obtain a green card without going through the laborious process of requesting asylum. They would not even need to file an immigrant petition, the usual first step in applying for most types of green cards. Instead, they would file an I-485 adjustment of status form and other forms required in this category. By contrast, a foreign embassy employee with no formal decision-making role or a foreign official with less compelling reasons not to return home would be unlikely to be permitted this benefit. Even for qualifying officials, Section 13 green cards remain extremely rare, a maximum of 50 per year. They may be granted only if it is in the national interest of the United States. Special green card for international organization employees, retired officers, and employees of international organizations, such as the United Nations and the World Bank, are eligible for a special type of green card if they lived in the U.S. on a G4 or NATO 6 visa for at least 15 years, combined, before their retirement, including for at least half of the last 7 years before applying for a green card. This application must be filed on Form I-360, Petition for Emigration, Widower, or Special Immigrant no later than 6 months after the officer or employee's retirement. The spouses of such international organization retirees and the spouses of deceased former international organization officers or employees may also independently qualify for a green card. In the latter case, the application must be filed no later than 6 months after the death of the former officer or employee. Lastly, the unmarried sons and daughters of current or former international organization officers or employees are independently eligible for a green card if they have lived in the U.S. on a G4 or NATO 6 visa for at least 7 years, combined, between ages 5 and 21, and for at least half of the 7 years before their application for the green card. The application must be filed before they turn 25. Special green card for children of foreign diplomats. Children born in the U.S. to accredited foreign diplomatic officers do not acquire U.S. citizenship at birth. Still, these children can get a green card under a special regulation, 8 CFR 101.3. This process does not require an immigrant visa petition, but instead, the I-485 adjustment of status application must be filed, along with the I-508 and I-566 as discussed above. Various types of supporting evidence must accompany the application. Many people working in foreign embassies in the U.S. are not accredited foreign diplomatic officers on what the Department of State calls the Blue List. Blue List cases, Children of Foreign Diplomats, U.S. Department of State Foreign Affairs Manual, 7 FAM 1111. So before you or your child file a green card application through this process, be sure to verify that the parent was definitely on this list. If the parent was not on this list, then the child is already a U.S. citizen.
Do you have a legal issue, question, or concern? Turn to Ask the Lawyer. You have questions? We've got answers. For a consultation or to refer a client, visit www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us. You can also register for our paralegal program, get legal news, business consults, or other information on educational issues. Yes, ask the lawyer. You have questions? We've got answers. For a consultation or to refer a client, visit www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us.
Do you want to be a paralegal? Or are you planning to go to law school? Our Chamber Coalition's online paralegal program is the right program to get you started. Some of the areas of law include contracts, property law, tort liability, civil procedure, constitutional law, immigration, civil rights, estate planning, wills and trusts, and matrimonial, plus legal research and writing, legal marketing, and small business. We also use Cali, which is used in law schools, and you get extra certificates from Clio and LexisNexis. By graduating from this program, you can market yourself as a virtual paralegal for attorneys and law firms in New York State. There is a one-time fee of $550. Are you excited to learn more? Register for an orientation at www.freeparalegal.org. That's www.freeparalegal.org.
Crucially, for a firm located in the Caribbean or Africa, it would be excellent to hire a marketing firm and distributor in the U.S. to facilitate marketing its products in the U.S. market. Such businesses could effectively maneuver their ways through the competitive and complex U.S. market in case they engaged a local marketing firm to make sure that their products properly got to the intended population by the use of targeted strategies. Marketing companies at the local level are better aware of cultural idiosyncrasies, consumer behavior, and the regulatory environment than would a foreign company, and this would tangibly improve the strength of marketing campaigns. Partnering with a distributor in the USA would ensure smooth logistics and distribution network systems that would further minimize the risk of any possible delay in getting the product to the consumer. This can help businesses build a strong presence in the market and, in turn, establish brand recognition more easily. Moreover, the knowledge of local partners by firms proves to be both a time and resource saver for businesses concentrating their efforts in production and innovation. In general, U.S. marketing firm and distributor hirings would present a strategic advantage for Caribbean and African businesses, increasing market share.
Hi, my name is Brian Anthony Figueroa, and you are listening to Ask the Lawyer with my father, Brian Figueroa.
Good day, good day, good day. My name is Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa & Associates. This is Ask the Lawyer. You got questions, we got answers. The number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. 2024. Woo! This is going to be a year. KK Russian Trump for president versus Biden. We know what KKK Russian Trump is. Yes, KKK Russian. It has a lot of meaning to that. But President Biden, who are you? What are you doing in the closet? We really need to understand who you are. Your decisions and your dependence on minority voters is really, really kind of warped. Basically, President Biden, you're telling black and browns and progressives, go yourself. Yeah. Because you believe to win this election, you have to be as conservative as possible. And then what does conservative mean? Because KKK Russian Trump believes he's conservative. So is a conservative a racist? Is a conservative pro-Russian? And how is all of that in the best interest of America in 2024? My name is Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa & Associates. This is Ask the Lawyer. You got questions, we got answers. The number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. What do you want from an attorney? You want knowledge. You want the ability to research, and you want, obviously, experience. Figueroa & Associates has been in business since 1996, which is, 28 years this year. That's cool. The areas of practice: immigration law, wills, trust, and estate planning, tax preparation, corporate, individual, and estates and trust. Yes. Bankruptcy, foreclosures. We anticipate a lot of foreclosures in 2024 as the economy goes down. Apple is going down their stock prices. Why? We could explain. Yes. Wills, trust, and estate planning is the only area that we give free consultations, because my background in taxes, business, the law of property, it really gives me the knowledge and the experience to serve you well. I don't need for you to pay me a consultation. Why? Because you dearly need my advice. A lot of people in our community, for time memorial, have given away their homes. I don't like to call it their property, their homes, their life investment, to competitors, meaning other attorneys with, how should I say, not your best interest, and you fall for them. Slavery is over, separatism law, is over, but our dependence, it never ceases to amaze me how our people, black people, would always run into a white man's office, doesn't matter where they are or their religion, and they always think that the white man is smarter than the black woman or the black man. Is that a slave mentality? What would Martin Luther King say about it? What will Malcolm X say about it? How about Marcus Garvey? Or, the only picture in my office, Bob Marley. What would he think about how we deal with some of these issues and how we see ourselves, this year and years gone past. So brothers and sisters, our listeners, don't give your attorney an intelligence test. Come to our office, get that free consultation on wills, trust, and estate planning. Then compare me with any white man or white woman. That's your gift in 2024. Having the best at your side with any litigation, estate planning, tax issues that you may need. If your family is in the hospital, if your family is in the adult centers, that's tackling issues very late, but it's something that obviously happens quite frequently in our community. Get your peace of mind by preparing those that will, a trust, a power of attorney, deed transfers, whatever it will take for you to keep wealth in your family. We will help you with that goal. Again, the number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. When you come here for that free consultation, just say, Mr. Figueroa, show me how you smarter than the white lawyer. And believe me, I will. Again, my name is Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa & Associates. This is Ask the Lawyer. You got questions, we got answers. The number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. Oh, and yes, this free consultation is open to you white people also. Peace.
Do you have a legal issue, question, or concern? Turn to Ask the Lawyer. You have questions? We've got answers. For a consultation or to refer a client, visit www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us. You can also register for our paralegal program, get legal news, business consults, or other information on educational issues. Yes, Ask the Lawyer. You have questions? We've got answers. For a consultation or to refer a client, visit www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us.
The United States is consistently ranked among the best internationally for its competitiveness. Are you planning to start a new business or branch of your business in New York? Attend our Chamber Coalition's 5-week webinar series, Small Business Sense Bootcamp. we provide education and business preparation for small business owners and startups. Learn the basics of business planning, how to finance your business, business credit, marketing, and social media strategies, small business solutions, legal, tax, accounting, banking, and insurance, and how to do business within New York City, New York State, and corporations. Register at startupsbootcamp.eventbrite.com.
Equity Smart Realty, Inc. Buying, selling, renting, or developing, we at Equity Smart will serve you well. Visit us at www.equitysmartrealty.com or call us 888-670-6791. 888-670-6791.
Vice President Kamala Harris stands out as the best choice for president due to her extensive experience, progressive vision, and strong leadership skills. With a background as a senator and California's Attorney General, she brings a wealth of legislative and executive experience. Harris champions key issues such as healthcare reform, climate action, and social justice, reflecting her commitment to progressive values. Her leadership style is marked by resilience, empathy, and the ability to unite diverse groups. Additionally, her historic candidacy as the first woman of color in such a high office brings a fresh perspective and inspires millions. Harris's ability to navigate complex political landscapes and advocate for comprehensive change makes her an ideal candidate for the presidency.
Hi, my name is Brian Anthony Figueroa, and you are listening to Ask the Lawyer with my father, Brian Figueroa.
Good day, good day, good day. My name is Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa & Associates. This is Ask the Lawyer. You got questions, we got answers. The number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. The law firm of Figueroa & Associates has been in the city of New York, state of New York, yes, and it has been a quarter century. And what does that quarter century mean? Well, over this long period of time, one of the observations made was the number of predators that we have in our community. So whether it be the Caribbean, African, Latin American, various immigrant communities, who are those predators? Who are those predators preying on women in our community that may be undocumented? And these predators have been many, and they have impacted thousands of women from the Caribbean, Africa, Latin America in unimaginable ways. So when someone comes to the United States of America, they have very few options. That's based on how the immigration law has been obviously legislated for decades. It means whether a male or a female, when they come to the United States of America, if they do not have a child 21 years or older, a U.S. citizen who could petition for them, they need to be married to a U.S. citizen. What if they are married already? What if they came to the U.S. and they fell in love with a married man? What if they came to the U.S. and they fell in love with someone who was single that refuses to marry them? What is the mindset of these women in these situations that make them obviously more vulnerable to people like Ali Louison, lawyers and others who will convince them that there is an alternative path to legalization? So instead of dealing with that emotional issue of being involved with a married man or a single man who does not want to get married to them in order for them to legalize, and there's quote-unquote true love, what goes into that woman's decision to remain in that prolonged relationship and then be vulnerable to fraud, to the predators who exist out there? What is their mental state? What is their state from a monetary perspective? What is their state of mind in terms of religion? In terms of, obviously, again, love? What is their mindset where they would delay or remain in a relationship that obviously has no benefit to them from a legalization's perspective? And is that all that women think about, obviously, when in a relationship? My name is Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa & Associates. This is Ask the Lawyer. You got questions, we got answers. The number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. So Ali Louison, a U.S. citizen from Grenada, committed fraud with thousands of people in Brooklyn, New York. They were from all over the world. Some of them were white. And when people went to Mr. Louison, he promised them a work permit, a social, and a travel document so they could see long-lost families back home, the children that they left there, their loved ones. And he processed documents without signing it as a lawyer or as a paralegal, and he made up terrible stories of abuse that were untrue, even for the simple person who doesn't understand immigration law or VAWA, the Violence Against Women's Act of 1994, that President Biden actually brought into law decades ago. Thank you, Mr. Biden. So people have to make decisions. People are desperate. And that desperation is why a lot of these people end up in deportation proceedings, or may never be able to legalize in America, or may have to end up going back to their home countries and lose monies that they might have accumulated in any pension plans or what have you, because in order to get those benefits, you must be a green card holder or a U.S. citizen. So what we have to do, obviously, how do we protect these people? And the law firm of Figueroa & Associates, myself, we have obviously our various publications, the Immigrants Journal, which is over 25 years, Caribbean American Weekly, Workers' World Today, New Black Voices, where we publish articles about who are, people, lawyers, non-lawyers, are exploiting women and others in our community. In fact, one of the attorneys that we wrote a story on in Caribbean American Weekly, he sued us for money, but he got nothing. He's now disbarred. He's from Africa, a gentleman who obviously, like many of the other predators, enrich themselves and maybe send those monies overseas, whatever. And it could be in the hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars when they have so many victims, people who pay their life savings so that they could legalize in the United States of America. So are these victims victims? Yes. That's what predators do. Where does a lion hunt when they want to get meat to eat? Who are the ones that they choose? The weaker zebra, the weaker deer, the limping dogs, whatever lions eat. Similarly, when human beings prey as predators on other human beings, they look for weaknesses. The law firm of Figueroa and Associates, we address those issues. We have a special article on our website, Ask the Lawyer, that you could read the story about how our people are sometimes the victims of predators. My name is Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa and Associates. This is Ask the Lawyer. You got questions, we got answers. The number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. Our website, where you could schedule an appointment, access this article, is at www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us. If you're listening to this program in the Caribbean or Africa or Latin America, because we broadcast overseas also, talk to your family, call them, especially if they're in New York City, obviously, that the law firm of Figueroa and Associates will work with them to get justice or to legalize themselves correctly here in the United States of America. Again, our website, www.askthelawyer.us. www.askthelawyer.us. Thank you.
Divorce, separation, support, custody. The common factor? They keep you up at night. Sleep well knowing that you have the law firm of Figueroa and Associates on your side through this difficult time. Don't divorce your money. Don't divorce your children. Divorce your spouse. Whether it's a contested or uncontested divorce, the law firm of Figueroa and Associates will guide you through every step of the process. From child custody to property and debt concerns, the law firm of Figueroa and Associates has the experience and expertise in handling cases involving significant assets and complicated issues. A divorce can be one of the most unpleasant experiences a person ever has to go through. Don't do it alone. Stop the sleepless nights and call the law firm of Figueroa and Associates, 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845, or visit 311divorce.com. That's 311divorce.com. At the law firm of Figueroa and Associates, a divorce is not the end, it's a new beginning.
Love is in the air. Do you know that a prenup or an irrevocable trust can say, "I love you" in a way flowers and chocolates never could? Ask the lawyer. Let the law firm of Fig, Arrow and Associates show you how. Don't hesitate. Call 855-768-8845 or visit www.askthelawyer.us to schedule an appointment today.
Do you have a legal issue, question, or concern? Turn to Ask the Lawyer. You have questions? We've got answers. For a consultation or to refer a client, visit www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us. You can also register for our paralegal program, get legal news, business consults, or other information on educational issues. Yes, ask the lawyer. You have questions? We've got answers. For a consultation or to refer a client, visit www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us.
This show is a production of IQ Inc. Marketing. If you would like to advertise your product or service on this show to the U.S. and Caribbean markets and through our multicultural publications in New York, please call 866-435-3286 or send an email to info@myiqinc.com.
Thank you for listening to Ask the Lawyer International Edition with attorney Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa and Associates in New York. We hope you enjoyed the show, which featured immigration visitors visa, starting and doing business in New York, entertainment and business visas, religious visas, and much more. Whether you are outside the U.S. or have family in New York, the number to call, share, and keep is 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845. Please schedule a consultation with us at www.askthelawyer.us. That's www.askthelawyer.us. This is Ask the Lawyer, International Edition. You have questions? We've got the answers.